Good day, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We are really happy to have all of you here for this training sessions. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you, Hing.
Okay. I'm sorry for the noise of the cats. I wasn't sure that is disturbing there. Okay. Welcome to the free sharing of today. Here, talking about greenwashing. This is Hing Hing talking to you. I am the speaker for today, and also one of the ISO 14064 GHG reporting lead verifier of Eco Sustainability Group. And I am also a lead author in TNFD, which is Task Force on Nature-Related Financial Disclosure, and co-author in SBTI, with the Science-Based Targets Initiative Standards Contributions. I'd like to give an introduction about who we are. So I shall show you a video. Let's go. Thank you. I want to talk about, talk a little bit about us. We help companies take their first real step on their sustainability journey. Our headquarters is in Singapore, and we have teams across Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines. You'll get to meet most of them as we run free weekly talks, just like this one. So stay connected. So this is number in a glance. We are in 6 countries in about 102 projects. We have 21 consultants, and we have 17 standards. This is our presence. Now, beyond reporting, this is what we do. We also offer consulting, carbon credit projects, and training. And one thing we are particularly proud of, we have a policy arm called Climate Policy Lab, where we do active standards contribution work at the global level. Now, our core expertise in sustainability reporting. So we work across globally recognized standards such as ISSB, SASB, ISO 14064, ISO 14067, and ISO 14068, covering everything from ESG disclosure to GHG reporting, carbon neutrality, and the product carbon footprints. In total, we work across 17 standards, including assurance. So you might be wondering what exactly is standard contributions. Let me make it simple for you. First, they are the standard setter. So the big names like ISSB, SASB, GHG Protocol, SBTI, and Vera, they create the rules. Then they are the standard user. So like the preparer who write the reports, the auditor, regulator, and the data companies, they follow the rules. So, but it's also a unique group that sits right in the middle. And that's where we come in as a standard contributor. What that means is that we provide technical commentary directly to the standard setter, helping shape and improve the standard through exposure draft and technical consultations. So in short, we don't just use the standards, we help build them, backed by our real on-the-ground working experience. Okay, quick housekeeping before we start. this session is recorded for learning purposes. So please keep your mic muted so we can keep the audio cleaned. If you got any question, so just drop them in the chat. My team will answer and we can cover them in the Q&A sessions. And please don't hold back on your question. The only real mistake is staying silent and not asking. Yep. And also throughout the sessions, I will have the kind of more interactions. If I do have any scenario, so I welcome to participate onto this activity so that we will learn from one another, right? Okay, now today we are diving into the complex intersections of eco-sustainability and advertising. Let's start with a question. Have you ever bought a product specifically because it was labeled eco-friendly? It is called greenwashing occurred when advertising pretends to be green. So there's a label like this are now made from 100% recycled bottle. Now EPA safe First Choice certified, a 100% ocean plastic. So have you ever bought something just because it said eco-friendly? Right. Let us talk about definitions and the concept. What is greenwashing? The term was coined in the 1980s by the environmentalist J. Westervelt. The formal definition is the act of misleading consumer about company environmental practices or the actual benefit of a product. Crucially, greenwashing is not sustainability. It is deceptions rather than actual transformations. So how to spot greenwashing? Now, this is not created by us. The sun is to identify the greenwashing, we use the tips or the framework known as the 7 sins. The first one, sins of the hidden trade-off. For example, organic cotton versus poor labor conditions and shipped globally using fossil fuel. What do I mean by that? So for example, that the company use organic cotton, but at the same time, they also do not take a look of or do not access the poor labor condition, which is under ESG, which is under S, and they ship globally using fossil fuel. So the emissions, the CO2 emission still there. So this is the hidden trade-off. Didn't give the bigger picture. So the second one, sins of no proof. Say for example, eco-friendly label, which describe environmental claims that are not backed by factual evidence or third-party certifications. The third one, sins of vagueness. Sustainability made without specific explanation to justify their use or the term overused. Number 4, sins of irrelevance. No animals harm. Let's say, for example, for cosmetic products, but this has been banned, right? So it's no longer relevant. It's long times it is already banned that do not test on the animals for the cosmetic products. Number 5, sins of lesser of 2 evils. Say, for example, grass-fed beef. Companies will develop more sustainability alternative but claim as good for the environment, which is quite misleading. Number 6, fibbing. Sins of fibbing. Climate neutral shipping, like describe environmental claim that are bluntly forced. The last one, number 7, sins of worshipping forced labor. Like say, for example, eco-seal, the logo. It can be fake or untrue label, or the certifications, untrue certification. This is how it's misled consumer. Okay, let's move. Let's apply the sins to some example, right? I give you some of the Malaysian example. Take Forest City in Johor. marketed as a green futuristic city, despite destroying coastal ecosystems, right? The second one, Grab Malaysia offered carbon neutral rights, but lacked public methodology or the third-party verifications. And number third one, Maybank marketed a credit card that offset your carbon footprint without clear metric, project validations, or any breakdown of how offset were calculated or applied. So which of the 7 sins do you think this company committed? Let's say number 1, the forest city. You can type in a chat box which sins is that. Can show it to you. Okay, we just take one question. So you can continue when you think of the answer, you can continue to put it in the chat box. So I moved on. Now, why do brands do this? First, consumer demand for green products is skyrocketing. Secondly, companies want the reputations of being sustainability without the high cost of real operational changes. The third one, furthermore, a lack of regulations or vouch legal definitions allow this claim to thrive. Fourth, the sad reality is that it is often easier to market green than to actually be green. Now, this is some of the case study we're going to take a look. And these brands are for educational purpose. For information, all this brand that I'm talking here is for the educational purposes. Now, H&M. H&M conscious collections were marketed as sustainability, but investigation found no measurable data and misleading tag. So the result was suitcase and lost trust. Okay. Let's take a look at the second example. The Volkswagen Dieselgate is perhaps the most famous example. They used software to cheat emission tests while promoting clean diesel. This led to multi-billion-dollar fines and a resigned CEO. So the lesson, greenwashing carry massive legal and financial risk. So this is taken from this. Okay, the next one, another case study, Coca-Cola. Now, Coca-Cola launched a world without waste, but they remain the world's biggest plastic polluter. They often conflict recyclability with actual recycling. So the takeaway here is that consumers want action, not just empty promises. Okay, give you one more. I think this one is the most debate, just happened last year, October. Total Energy claim they're ambitious to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050 and to be a major player in the energy transitions, but continue expanding oil and gas productions. So in October 2025, Paris Judicial Court ruled misleading commercial practices. So the lesson is this: net zero claim without a credibility, transparent plans are legal actionable. So this is the first oil major convicted for greenwashing globally. So now let's move on. Let's test your knowledge. So this is easy that I hope everyone can participate and type your answer in a chat box. Say, for example, I'm going to read this text. You can read it together with me because quite a little bit of text on the slide so they understand and can do the exercise together. Now, a hotel places sign in bathrooms saying, help us save the planet. Reuse your towels. But behind the scenes, they haven't made any other sustainability changes. Energy, water, and waste practices remain the same. So this is a genuine sustainability effort, true or false? So type your answer in the chat box. I'll wait for a little while. Yeah. So keep on coming, keep on coming. Keep on coming. Yep, the answer is false. Let's try the next one. A beverage brand said, our bottles are 100% recyclable, but most of their bottles aren't collected or processed in recycling system, especially in Southeast Asia. So this claim is misleading and could be considered greenwashing. True or false? Is the claim misleading? Considered greenwashing? Yes, it is true. The answer is true. Okay, let's try this. A fast fashion brand launched unlimited eco collections using organic cotton, but the rest of the business will run on high emission, low waste, low wage, fast turnaround system. So highlighting a small green products line is enough to claim sustainability. True or false? Keep coming in, keep coming in. True or false? Hmm. So to highlight a small green products line and you claim sustainability. So the answer is false. Okay. So what's the real impact? This one is important. This slide is very important, right? Now, the greenwashing undermines trust in the entire sustainability movement. It confuses consumer and hurts business that are actually doing the right thing. Ultimately, it leads to stricter regulations such as the EU Green Claims Directive. So what's the key message? The key message here is this. Do your sustainability reporting because reporting prevents greenwashing. You have to show your report and get it verified. So on top of that, making sure you are using the right standard. Else it is merely marketing. Yes. So because it's important, I say it again. The key message is this. Do your sustainability reporting. For the reporting prevent greenwashing. You have to show your report and get it verified. On top of that, making sure you are using the right standard, else is merely marketing. So which standard is depending on your industry. So your industry will point you to the right standard. Use that, do the reports. Then you can avoid greenwashing. All right. So how to prevent greenwashing. Let's look at the role of advertiser in preventing the greenwashing. So meanwhile, as I continue speaking, if you do have the question, please do not hesitate to drop your question in the chat box, and my colleague will help to answer. All right. So as future advertiser, what can you do? What can you do? You must demand life cycle data and use only verified claim. Avoid vouch buzzwords and ensure marketing aligns with the company actual ESG strategy. So this is how you can avoid. Crafting a sustainability brand story. So how? Authenticity. To be a superstar, focus on authenticity and transparency. Say, for example, the example given here is Brown Coffee and Bakery. It's a great example. They specify that 60% of beans come from local Cambodian farm. So every cup supports local farming community and reduces transportation emissions. I give you another example. The second one is transparency. The example here is Lucky Supermarket. So Lucky Supermarket uses QR code on label so that consumer can see actual sustainability reports. Right? So the story, they're saying that displays waste reductions efforts. We recycle 70% of cardboard and plastic packaging from our store. So they will use this QR code on the product's label that link to their sustainability report detailing sourcing and waste management practices. Okay, let's look at the next one. Look at localizations. The example here is the pizza company. Introduced the pizza companies here celebrate Cambodian heritage by using ingredients grown by local farmer. So localizations matter. So introduce a story about incorporating local ingredient into your recipe to celebrate Cambodian heritage. The narrative is that our pizza topping aren't just delicious. They are grown with love by local farmer. I'll give you one more example. Engaging narrative. Example here is a Lucky Burger. Lucky Burger framed their story around specific impact. Switching to biodegradable boxes save 20 grams of plastic per meal. Okay. Next. Q&A. So how can we prioritize sustainability when our main concern is staying profitable in a price-sensitive market? And the second question is, why should we invest in sustainability initiative when our customers aren't actively demanding it yet? So there isn't any easy answer. So debate this. Greenwashing is better than doing nothing. Now, this slide, I know there's a lot of text, all right? I'll read this slowly. And all for information, the names here, I just fabricated it, all right? So I'll read it slowly, then you can read together with me. Then we will think about it and let's debate. Now, in 2022, ride-hailing introduced a 10-cent carbon neutral fees on rides, promising that the amount collected would go towards purchasing carbon offset to make trips carbon neutral. So ride-hailing positions this move as part of its ESG goal and climate commitment. But here is the controversy. The fees was charged to customer, not absorbed by the company. Second, there was limited transparency about which carbon credit were purchased and how they were verified. The third critic accused ride-hailing of green shifting responsibility to consumer while still operating fuel-powered vehicles. The last one, others felt it was a genuine attempt to raise awareness and support carbon offsetting as skill. So now, this ride-hailing on the left, on my slide on the left hand, the ride-hailing carbon neutral fees is greenwashing disguised as corporate responsibility versus on the right-hand side, ride-hailing is leading the way by involving consumer in climate actions, even if this is not perfect. So think about this. And here's my question for you. Is it green shifting? Think about, should companies pass the cost of sustainability to consumer? Is a carbon offset better than nothing, or is it just a license to pollute? How can a brand be transparent when the average consumer doesn't understand carbon credit? This is something for you to think. And here's my question for you. So is green shifting the responsibility to the customer, or it is a genuine attempt to involve consumer in climate actions? So leave your comment in the chat box. So if you think that this is green shifting, so you just type green shifting. If you think that this is genuine attempt, so you just type in the chat box, genuine attempt. I'll wait for a little while. You think about it. Is this the green shifting? Is it a green shifting, or is this genuine attempt? Keep on coming. Many say this is green shifting. Let's debate. Oh, I see one, the different one bias. Is it genuine attempt? Outsider may not know if there were operations or resource challenges that the company might have experienced. Repeat. Any more? It is like you exercise, but you don't have a coach or proper program. So is exercising, even if it is wrong, better than nothing? So that's it. There is no easy answer, but transparent is the key to moving forward. Right? That is also greenwashing. What does this greenwashing mean? Which is the opposite of greenwashing. You know, a lot has been done, but when companies choose to under-communicate or under-reporting about their sustainability effort, so this is greenwashing, right? So let's work together. Let's work together towards building a world where every company is a sustainability superstar. So by now, I've finished my presentation for you today. This is my last slide. Thank you. But before you go, join our community, right? Later on, we will take question while I leave this slide here. So did you have any question? Is there any question that type in the chat box that we can answer? Join our WhatsApp community and follow our social media to get the latest update. Okay.